Thank you so much for saying yes to this interview. I'm very excited.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, I'm going to start by asking you to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Gabriela Maresi. I'm a Romanian, currently living in the south of Paris. I studied business and economics in university, so very far away from the art world. But and I currently work in a European institution here in Paris. It's the Council of Europe Development Bank. And yeah, I have a sister. My parents still live in Romania. My sister's in Brussels. I don't know. What else would you like to know?
Well, tell me, how many languages do you speak?
Fluently Romanian, English, and French, and then a bit of. I'm learning Spanish now. I have no idea what level I am, but medium, let's say. And I studied Japanese as well, but yeah, without practice, that one I think you forget it really quickly. So I'm losing a lot of that. Yeah, German as well. Yeah. Lived there for a couple of years, so I didn't count. How many does that make? 3 fluent?
Let me ask you.
3.
Yeah, this tricky question. Do you speak Neurographica now?
Oh. Yeah, if we look at it as a language, yes, I would say I do. Yeah.
So I'd like to congratulate you
on
completing the instructor's course and actually making the very first, the pioneers cohort, and just like really hearing that impressive list of languages that you speak. Let me ask you this. So when you do Neurographica, what's like a default language that maybe your reflections come in?
It's always a mixture. I mean, I'm most comfortable in a mixture of English, Romanian, and French, really. So it really depends on how I feel, on who I'm drawing with, if I'm drawing with other people, like when we did the specialist case studies, it was a mixture of English and Romanian because that's how I was talking to them. When I did with my husband, who's French, it was mostly in French. I mean, it really varies. So there's not a I don't think anything constant there. But I just wanted to say, yeah, we're the pioneers, if you want to call us that in English. But you guys are the real pioneers who did the courses in Russian, like the original gangsters of the method.
Awesome, original gangsters. Yeah. Well, we are the bridge, and I think with your cohort being the first one actually receiving instructions in English, I think that's what's really impressive, because that's the test of the knowledge being transferred.
Yeah.
And speaking with you and your cohorts, what really impressed me the most is that how actually we have not lost the method in translation. And as someone who speaks a few languages, to me, that's the humbling and also very exciting moment that I think we all to be celebrating.
I think that's what's amazing about the method, really, about Neurographica in general, that it's so universal, that so many people can do it, even beyond language. I mean, as long as you can use a marker, you're good to go, really. It's
good to go.
Yeah, I've heard some people who were really just watching the videos in Russian, like not understanding a single thing and still being able to follow along and still getting benefit from it. Probably not as much as if they understood the language, of course, but still, I mean, that's what makes it really impressive. And it's accessible to all. It's amazing.
Thank you. So, to your understanding, as of today, what is the most important concept in Neurographica, in your own words?
What do you mean concept? Like
just something that's like the glue, something that if you are to describe what Neurographica is in maybe like one sentence, it is this. Like the brightest, the most sort of a critical thing that defined it. I know it's a tough question.
Yeah. It is difficult to choose, yeah.
Well, just list them, just name a few things then. Like, how was it
Yeah. I
coming?
mean, how I usually describe it to people, like the elevator pitch. People who've never heard of it, is that it's a coaching or slash self-coaching method developed by Pavel Piskarev in 2014 that combines abstract drawing, neurosciences, psychology, and a bunch of other fields and methods, and that helps us work with our subconscious. So that's how I usually explain it to people. And yeah, then I go into talking about the neuroline, really, because that's what I find the most amazing. That instead of I for some reason I always feel the need to highlight that it's not doodling. And to explain to people that, yeah, when you doodle, the same patterns you usually have in your mind come up, whereas the neuroline, it's drawn slowly and consciously, and you take the time to think about where you would want to go with the line and deviate from that. And by doing this, by going against your regular patterns, it helps create new connections in the brain and like new neural pathways. And so that's what helps you come up with new solutions to your problems, to your topics, and which encourages new ideas to pop up. So I think I'm gonna go with the neuroline because that's really
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
but
I could.
I'm joining as well. It's difficult. It's really difficult to choose. Everything's amazing for me in it. So yeah.
Amazing. So what is your favorite algorithm?
Only difficult questions. Again, so difficult to choose.
I know I make you choose, but yeah, let's say you don't have to choose. Just like name those that became favorite for you throughout the course. And why? I guess maybe they became special for their own reasons.
Yeah. Well, I really took a liking to algorithm for revealing intentions after I drew this one right behind me here. Which started as an A4 initially, and then grew into this huge thing. So I really enjoyed that. Because this one allows you to just simply explore without necessarily having a topic in mind, and the insights it brought me and the lengths to which it took me in the exploration were really amazing, and I had a lot of fun with it. So this one was a rather recent discovery, like pretty much towards the end of the instructor course. Of course I had done a bunch of them beforehand, even before the instructor course, but I hadn't ever really connected to the algorithm. So never give up hope on that, I guess, is what I would say to newcomers, because you never know when inspiration will hit, and when one algorithm will just spark joy in you, like literally you will relate to it in a way you hadn't before. So that's what happened to me with this one. And otherwise, I mean, I know I'm sticking just to the basic ones, but these were the most impactful for me. I mean, no, that's not true. Anyway, these are the ones that are coming to mind right now. So the other one I had a lot of fun with, and I actually have my whole portfolio close to me here so I can show you things. So I did this particular variation of the algorithm for removing limitations that Anna Denning was talking about during the course. So it went like you had to do the catharsis in the beginning for as many seconds as your current age. So I did it last year. It was 32 seconds for me, and on an A3 paper that turns into this.
Whoa.
So you can imagine how you really need to love conjoining to be able to finish that one. It was a whole lot.
You want to share a secret? How long did it take you to finish it up?
I don't even know. I mean, over several days and a lot of hours, maybe over 10 hours.
Did it worth it?
God, yes. It really was worth it, and rounding every small cell in there was really worth it, and brought up so many insights. Plus it was on a pretty difficult topic for me, like deciding whether I do want to have a baby or not. So I wanted to choose like a really tough topic for this size of catharsis and and paper as well. And yeah, it was really, really worth it. Over the few days while I was finishing it, I had so many really deep and honest discussions with my husband, and it was great. It was really worth it. So I think that's why I choose this one, because it was really the most impactful for me, like on an immediate and very visible, visceral level. Because all the other ones are, of course, amazing and have impacted me in who knows how many ways I probably don't even realize yet. But they're somehow, the others, I think they're more long-term working. I mean, you can have a bunch of insights on the moment while you're drawing it, of course, but then some of them, like, I don't know, like quality of life, are for a larger timeline, so they continue working on you. That's how I like to see it. Like, the drawing keeps working on me. That's why they're all around me in my office, and I can show you the rest of it, because it's like it continues on the other walls and in front of me. Because I strongly believe that as long as I continue to enjoy looking at them, there is still something working there, something changing in my brain thanks to them.
It's really beautiful the way you said it. I work on the drawings, and then the drawings continue to work on me. Wow.
Yeah.
That's profound.
Thank you.
Well,
how about you? What's your favorite?
Well, I couldn't agree more. It's I think depending on where we are, it's that one day you need one algorithm, and then the next day you just never think. Being open, staying open, and actually having this sort of a lineup, a repertoire of techniques, really helps.
Yeah, like on a toolbox.
The toolbox, absolutely. Well, do you mind sharing what's next? Like, how do you envision, what's your own personal future with Neurographica now that you are?
I haven't really thought about it that far ahead. I'm kind of in this phase where I'm trying to, and I've drawn about this a lot, where I'm trying to let the universe guide me and surprise me, where I'm trying to be more in a state of surrendering and trusting, rather than planning to every minutious detail my future. So I haven't really thought that far ahead with it yet. So far, I'm helping out as a supervisor in the second instructor's course in English that has already begun. And I do have some requests for coaching from a few people that have seen my stuff on social media and that would like to work with me. So I'll probably honor those. And otherwise, I don't know. I have so many ideas that are bubbling around, and I'll see which ones settle. Like, there's this amazing center right here close to my apartment in France, in the middle of a gorgeous park, where they do all sorts of art classes and things like that. And I did a tour there last weekend, so I was really loving it so much and wondering whether I could teach there maybe, and I could collaborate with them. So I'm thinking about maybe doing that, and then I've had some requests actually from two businesses to maybe do like a team building sort of exercise using Neurographica for them and the companies. So scary as that might be, I may be considering it. Yeah, so I'll see what the future holds. I mean, for now, I'm not settling on anything. I'm not building a website. I'm not, I have a social media presence, and I'm sharing my drawings and my journey with Neurographica, but that's it for now. I'm letting it come to me, because I still have a full-time job as well, and there's a lot of things going on in my life this summer. So we'll see as of September how things settle down.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
And also, as we say, that we have to let it settle. Like, and you also said that integration is the part of
Yes.
an important component of the process.
Absolutely. You couldn't have said it better, really. That's really what it is for me. Like the instructor's course was a lot and was pretty intense, especially with a demanding full-time job at the side. So yeah, I that's exactly what this is. I really just want to let things integrate over summer and see where I come up on the other end. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfectly right.
Like we say it in Russian, we need to like exhale.
Mm,
Yeah, after such a long run and a lot of hard work, and there you go.
yeah.
So if I were to ask you for the
Mm,
people to come after you studying in the next cohorts in English in the English speaking program, what would you recommend they do? Maybe something that you learned along the way that you've like certain suggestions that you could give to yourself if you knew,
mm.
like to make their
Uh,
process more enjoyable, more productive.
I mean, it's silly, but the first thing that popped into my head when when you asked that is don't leave a drawing until you finished conjoining everything.
Hmm.
It seems quite basic, but I discovered it the hard way that. But on the other hand, that's how you learn. So it's like, yeah, I don't even know, because yeah, during neurocomposition there was this drawing with organizing internal space, where you have all the triangles pointing towards yourself,
Mm-hmm.
really enact change. Yeah, so I started drawing that. I was really motivated to draw that one. I started drawing it in the car when we were coming back from a weekend with friends. It was the whole thing. And I got to the point where I drew the triangles, really activated the tips, like brought a lot of energy to that, and then just left it and I don't know, went to bed and did other things. And the next couple of days was my mind was all over the place. It was chaotic. I slept badly. It was the whole thing. And I was like, what the hell is going on? And yeah, then I came back to my office and I saw the drawing and I was like, oh, right. Mm.
I know what to do, right? And
Yeah,
I know what not to do next time.
exactly. Yeah. So that was, I mean, of course, the instructors taught us like, the health and safety rules of working with triangles and things like that. But you hear them, you understand them on a mental level, but when you actually go through an experience like this where you feel it in your whole body, like, oh my god, I should have conjoined them, you understand it more on an experiential level as well, so you get that second layer of understanding. That's why I'm hesitating to give this as an advice or not, because even if they end up doing the same thing, they will learn so much from it. So it's like, yeah. Other than that, I don't know, really. Just I feel like saying, just take it easy and remember you're doing this for yourself first of all. Like, don't put too much pressure on yourself to, I don't know, to meet the deadlines, or to, I mean, it's important to work as you can, but also to respect your own rhythm, and I've had this experience so many times during the instructor's course. It is amazing. I learned so much from this, where I knew I had to draw, I don't know, whichever algorithm for whichever deadline, and I just couldn't sit down to draw it. It just didn't, I honestly tried, and I would end up doing other things. I had a lot of resistance to it. And at first I was blaming myself, like, oh no, I need to force myself and do it, and blah, blah, blah. But then I just gave up. I surrendered and trusted in the universe, like I was saying, that it's something I've been working on. And of course, a few days later, when I did end up sitting down to work with it, it was the perfect time. It flowed so freely and so quickly out of me. It was really amazing, and it was exactly what I needed to do. So sometimes, the the universe has a bigger plan for us, and we should just trust our bodies. If I mean, that's what I tell people about Neurographica as well, that it's a body-centered technique. You work with yourself, with your emotions and your sensations and your thoughts and everything, all the whole reflection process. That's what it is, right? You just focus so much on what's going on inside of you in the present moment. So bring that outside of the drawing as well. Bring that to your regular everyday life. Like, if you don't feel like doing something this instant and you feel it in your body, then there must be a reason for that. So just trust the wisdom of your body. Mm.
Wow. I'm just taking it in with my body.
Okay. I had some shit
Wow.
going on as well, so
Yeah. We should like after this interview, we should just like sit down and reflect, right? On the
Mm,
4 points.
yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So was this way of learning to reflect, was that helpful and actually write things down?
Yeah.
What was your relationship with the note taking and descriptions?
Oh, it varies so much throughout the course, but I did it mostly on paper. Like I would have another paper next to the drawing, and I would take notes there. But then it took forever to transcribe them on on the computer, so I started writing them directly either on my phone or on the computer straight away. I know some people what do you say, use voice messages, like voice recording on their phone. You have these apps that translate voice to text, and then it's just really easy. I never felt like doing that because I prefer to be in my own process rather than talk about it, but to each his own. um and yeah, I was doing it rather randomly at first, like not necessarily in the order. Like if I would notice an emotion first, I would write that. If I wouldn't have a thought, then I would write that. Then I would think, okay, what's missing? Body and visual changes, okay, so I would write those. And then I watched a supervision by one of the instructors, and she was saying how she explained this way of doing the reflection process, where it was this really sequencing thing. Like you look at the change in the visual and you see what sensations that brings up, what emotions come with that, and the thoughts at the end. And I don't know how she explained it, but it finally clicked in place in my brain, although I'd heard it a bunch of times before. That it's interesting to do it like that, in that order, and it's and why it's important to do it like that. So I don't know, it finally clicked, which is why I find it really important that that there are different instructors and different teachers during the course, and or doing the supervision as well, because each one brings such a different perspective, and you never know who has that particular phrasing that will click for you, that will finally like ka-ching, make sense in your brain, and so the information enters, because yeah, you can hear it a bunch of times from the same person, and like I was saying, hear it only mentally but not, don't feel it experientially. But then someone else comes along and says the exact same thing with maybe the same words or slightly different, and you find, oh right, that's what they mean. Light bulb turns up. So
Yeah, and that's the reason, the very particular reason I'm so celebrating your cohort, because now we add like a rainbow, like a whole new, like many worlds, because now you guys can be doing that in your own languages.
yeah.
And to some people it's gonna click so much better, and
Yeah.
like really the pioneers of Anna and Anton, that actually, and Julia and myself a little bit, that we were doing that, really thinking, it's like, well, how could you do that? How are they going to understand that? It's like you cannot make it perfect. But then I think with
Yeah.
actually trusting the method and trusting that maybe yeah, we just use the languages, but we speak really soul to soul and heart to heart and mind to mind, and the neural lines are pretty much, we just have to trust and keep doing and keep really providing different ways, just like the neural lines and the revealing of intentions algorithm, that having that tenacity to keep exploring, knowing and trusting that on the other end people will do their own diligence, and they will understand, and they will, and then like it'll click for different people. It'll click in a different way, but it will, and it does.
At some
And
point it will click into place. Yeah.
and now listening to this feedback, it just like it humbles me to the very, deep bottom of my own heart that it's working.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it really does. And I really like what you said, because it's all about energy and vibration and the intention with which you transmit things. And the language finally is secondary. Like that's why it's so important for instructors to show what they're drawing. Like you always see them drawing, and it's like that speaks volumes rather than what you're listening to in the words. So it's the way they
there's a proverb: don't tell me how, show me.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. All right, well, it's been my pleasure to have this beautiful conversation with you. I hope that's not the last one. And one day we'll meet in person, and we'll have some face-to-face events, and
I would love that.
The world of Neurographica is expanding, and
I cannot wait to interact with previous cohorts, and unfortunately I don't speak Russian, so it's limiting, but still there are.
But now we speak the shared language of Neurographica, and that's what matters.
Yes, and I don't know, it would be amazing to just organize drawing sessions where we just draw together online, and
at some point the actual verbal language become irrelevant, because we're just gonna do the
speak through the lines.
Speak through the lines. Speak through the lines. On that amazing, beautiful high note, I suggest we'll stop until next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Anna. This was amazing.
Thank you. To be continued.
Yeah.